Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready for some fantasy hockey streaming advice, it's time for the most styling, profiling, wheeling and dealing, jet flying, limousine riding podcast in all the land. It's the reigning, defending, undisputed fantasy hockey streaming champion of the world. It's the Stream Scheme.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the greatest fantasy hockey podcast that focuses on streaming players for the upcoming week. It's the Stream Scheme. We won't be talking about your superstars like your Ragin' Tajin Thompsons or your Ryan Nugent Hopkins here. No, sirree, Bob. Here we get down to the nitty gritty, the dark depths of fantasy hockey that those other podcasts are simply too scared to touch. The Stream Scheme is presented by the greatest fantasy hockey podcast in the world, Keeping Karlsson, and we often refer to the greatest league in the world, the Keeping Karlsson Ultimate Patron Fantasy League, aka the Cupful. Hopefully everyone is coming off a win. Not me, but that's besides the point. First off, sorry for the delay this week, travel problems. Don't get used to it, Team Sunday. Next week, we've got something very special for you guys. Schemers that have looked ahead at the week before Christmas have surely noticed that it's a terrible week for streaming, but never fear. We here at the Stream Scheme can make the mundane insane because I'm bringing back not only our lovely, lovely co-hosts, both Twitterless Mason and the Keeping Karlsson captain, PJ Richards, but the very host of Keeping Karlsson, Elon Dubrovsky, caught wind of all the fun we had planned and said, I want in. So next week for the Stream Scheme, it'll be me, Captain Peach, Twitterless Mason, and the host of Keeping Karlsson himself, the reigning, defending, undisputed fantasy hockey champion of the world currently, Tier 1 champion Elon Dubrovsky, for not only just the Stream Scheme, but I'm also going to have those guys on for the 4th annual Stream Scheme Buy Low, Sell High Christmas extravaganza, so get ready for all of that. But before we can get into the picks, first we have to see how we did last week because we are all about accountability here on the Stream Scheme. Nick Schmaltz, his one goal in his last game saved him this week for sure, but he did nothing else and certainly hasn't lived up to the hype that I gave him last week, that's for sure. He's already putting that to the test this week because Schmaltz only played 12 minutes in his last game. No bueno, that's for darn sure. And next week, Arizona only plays 3 times with just 1 light day. So I'll say this as a rule of thumb for Nick Schmaltz. Hang on to him in your 14-team leagues and up, such as Ticket Cupful. But for 12-team leagues and shallower, I would say you could probably drop Nick Schmaltz after his game on Sunday. Dylan Strome had an absolutely tremendous week with 3 points in 3 games for Dylan Strome with the game in hand on Sunday as well. Just great stuff all around for Dylan Strome. Not to be confused with Ryan Strome. You know, where do you think the Stromes rank on the NHL Brotherhood tiers? Like Tier 1, obviously, the Kachucks, right? Tier 2, got to be the Hughes. Tier 3, give me the Stromes. The Stromes, both the Stromes, all of the Stromes are now officially friends of the show. They're always welcome over for dinner. So I say yes, hang on to our new BFF, Dylan Strome, in all league formats. Our defensive streamer was Colton Parayko, who had a pretty good week. He had a goal on Tuesday, which he needed because he wasn't his typical peripheral self. Only 6 shots, 4 blocks, and just 1 hit for Parayko in 3 games so far this week with a game in hand on Sunday. So thanks to that goal, this week is trending towards a win for Parayko, but going forward, if you want to drop him, I'm okay with that. And moving on to our ludicrous streamers this week, and there were a lot of them. Thomas Greiss was our ludicrous goalie streamer of the week, and okay, I know some people might disagree with me here, but Tommy Greiss was a win for the week. Yes, I know he had a terrible game on Thursday, but that's only if you happen to hold on to him for that game. But that was not our intention. I very specifically said I only wanted to add Tommy Greiss for that Monday, Tuesday back-to-back, of which proved very successful as Greiss won on Tuesday. Yeah, he gave up 4 goals, but he had 36 saves, which adds up to a 6.8 cupful point performance. So yeah, you can and probably should drop Tommy Greiss, but anyone who thinks he was a loss this week just held on to him too long, and that's on you, not me. Vladislav Gavrikov was our ludicrous defensive streamer. He had 1 assist in 3 games, but his periffs were all over the place. 4 shots on Tuesday, but then 0 shots in his other 2 games. 0 hits the whole week and only 5 blocks. And add in Gavrikov's game on Friday. He played 27 minutes but had no shots, no hits, and just 1 block. So it was nearly a 27-minute cardio session for Gavrikov. No bueno, that's for sure. So he still does play 1 more game to redeem himself, hopefully on Sunday. But after that, you can absolutely drop Vladislav Gavrikov. Wyatt Johnston had 2 points in 3 games this week, so that's a win here, but not a great one. He did have nearly a 17-minute cardio session on Saturday, so if you want to argue that this pick is a loss because of that cardio session, you'd be wrong, but I can understand why you would want to argue that. But yeah, Dallas has 4 games next week, but with just 1 light day in there on Monday, so obviously hang on to Wyatt Johnston for that Monday game, but then you can drop him after that if he's not going to start any other games for you that week. Lucas Sedlak, no points so far this week for him, but believe it or not, he's still actually having a pretty good week just from peripherals alone. Very rare for a forward to be able to do that. 7 shots, 12 hits, and even 5 blocks for Lucas Sedlak. Pretty impressive stuff for him despite the lack of points, but he is still trending towards a win this week. But I think he is now officially playing on the 4th line in Philly. I think he was like top line, top power play last week. So definitely a fall in deployment, but it do be like that for ludicrous streamers sometimes. So yeah, you can drop Lucas Sedlak after this week. Marcus Johansson, Marjo had 1 goal through 3 games so far this week, so not a bad week for Marjo, but certainly not a good one either. So hopefully he scores again on Sunday to secure the dub for us, but after his game on Sunday, I would certainly recommend that you can drop Marcus Johansson. My next pick was Josh Leivo, as I now know. He was incredible. Leivo had 2 goals, 3 points, and 10 shots through just 3 games so far this week, with a game in hand on Sunday as well. Tremendous stuff, and you got to hang on to him at least for his game on Monday. But if you wanted to drop him after that, you can certainly go ahead and do that with Josh Leivo. Dylan Dubé had a very good week with a goal and an assist, a bunch of shots, a bunch of hits. It's a very easy win here for Dylan Dubé this week, but it gets better because guess what? My main man, Dylan Dubé and the Calgary Flames happen to have a Streamagami next week, so not only are you hanging on to Dylan Dubé, but if he wasn't a pick last week, he easily would have been one this week, and he's still only 3% rostered, so he's practically a ludicrous streamer still. Not for much longer, though, so pick up Dylan Dubé. Logan O'Connor could not take advantage of his increased deployment on account of the injury to Nathan MacKinnon. 0 points through 3 games so far for Logan O'Connor, although you never know, he could explode on their last game of the week on Sunday. He's on their second line, I guess, of Colorado, but yeah, right now it's pretty much just whoever is playing with Rantanen and then everyone else. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, at least for now, but yeah, you can certainly drop Logan O'Connor. And our last pick from last week, but certainly not the least, Au contraire, mon frère. He is far from last this week. In fact, he came through for us this week in a big way. It's the one, the only, Lars. I mean, what can I say about Lars Eller? To think that some people had the guts to not stream Lars Eller this week. They disgust me. Lars Eller, our very best friend in the whole wide world. The sunshine when my skies are gray, Lars Eller. Some people thought that, just because he was as cold as can be, that he was going to be a bad streamer. But I told you guys, I said it in the Stream Scheme channel over on the Keeping Karlsson Discord. I said I talked to Lars Eller. When I say these guys are my friends, I'm not being facetious here. You don't think I have Lars Eller number? He knows when he's a streamer. He knows when to tell him, hey boys, let me get this empty netter. I'm on the stream scheme this week. And he did. Lars Eller had an incredible week with 2 goals through 3 games so far, with a game in hand on Sunday as well. Of course, as always is the case with Lars Eller, though, we thank him for the points, our very best friend, and then we let him roam free on the waiver wire until next time. So overall, I think we're trending towards 2 for 2 on our regular forward streamers. Parayko is trending toward a win for our lone regular defensive streamer, and I'm sure it won't end up being the case maybe when it's all said and done after those Sunday games. But believe it or not, I'm actually trending towards going 8 for 9 on my ludicrous streamers, like nearly a pick away. Logan O'Connor was the only one being the real blatant miss there. Close to the dream stream, so close, but yeah, I'll probably end up missing like 2 or 3, but either way, an easy win for the week, and the heat check rolls on. You cannot stop me. You can only hope to contain me. Let us proceed. But enough pitter-patter. Let's get at her. Let's get to the schedules for the upcoming week, starting on Monday, December 12th, 2022. On Monday, we have 12 clubs playing, 24 clubs play on the heavy Tuesday, 6 clubs playing on Wednesday, 24 clubs play on the heavy Thursday, 6 clubs play on Friday, 26 clubs playing on the typical heavy busy day of Saturday, and lastly 10 clubs play on the last day of the weekly matchup, Sunday, December 18th. The best schedule of the week is a tie between the Calgary Flames and the Minnesota Wild, both of whom play 4 times this week. They play on Monday, which is a light day. They play on Wednesday, which is also a light day. They also play on Friday, which, wouldn't you know it, also happens to be a light day. And not only all that, they also play on Sunday as well. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's 4 light days in just 1 week. In other words, it's the Stream Academy! Sorry, I don't know what happened to me there. The Streamagami spirits just took over for a brief second. It happens sometimes. So yeah, definitely pick up your Flames and Wild this week. Some other teams with good schedules this week are the Ottawa Senators, who any other week would have the best schedule of the week easily, playing 4 times with 3 light days. There's also the Chicago Blackhawks, the Montreal Canadiens, and the New York Rangers, all who play 4 times with 2 light days. And you also have Pittsburgh and St. Louis, who have decent schedule, both playing 3 times, but they do have 2 light days, so not bad. The worst schedule of the week goes to the Vancouver Canucks. They're the only team in the league that plays just twice this week. So if you've been wavering on any Canuck about whether to keep them on your team, this is definitely the week to try out a streamer in their place, perhaps. Some other teams with bad schedules this week are Boston, Buffalo, Columbus, Colorado, Florida, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Vegas, and Washington. Whew. All those teams only play 3 times this week, with all 3 of their games being on the heavy, busy days. And so once again, it's a bad week to have a bad week. So drop those fringe players on teams with bad schedules and get ready to pick up some streamers in their place. And you guys know I'm always down to give you guys advice on ads, drops, trades, whatever the case may be. Always feel free to hit me up on Twitter at NHL Stream Scheme, and I'm usually pretty quick with a response for you over there. And we'll be back with our picks right after this quick break. Hang around. So without further ado, let's get to the picks of the week. My top forward pick of the week is Kirby Dach of the Montreal Canadiens. And I know, chalk pick here, very chalked as the kids would say, but Kirby Dach finds himself slipping into streamer range at 24% rostered after scoring just 2 points and no goals over his last 7 games. But Kirby Dach is still top line, top power play, getting that primo deploymento for now down there in Montreal. Always possible that can change with some outjuries, of course. But either way, if Kirby Dach is on your waiver wire this week, I think you have to pick him up regardless of what line he's on. And that's because Montreal is one of the best schedules of the week, playing 4 times with 2 light days, plus their early week light days, Monday and Wednesday. You love to see that. So yeah, chalk pick here. I'll own that, but I gotta let you guys know, check and see if anyone dropped him, and if they did, then pick up Kirby Dach. My second forward pick of the week is Sam Steele, who's technically a ludicrous streamer as well. And my third forward pick is Marcus Foligno, both from the Minnesota Wild. Sam Steele is only 1% rostered currently, despite being on the only true line that matters in Minnesota, skating next to Kaprizov and Zook. So just a pure schedule play here, although Sam Steele did have a goal in his last game, so hopefully he's heating up and starting to gel with those guys maybe. And Marcus Foligno, at least he's going to get second line minutes, and I know I'm going to get at least 4 games started from him this week easily with all those light days. So yeah, as mentioned, Sam Steele is a ludicrous streamer at just 1% rostered, and Marcus Foligno is 17% rostered. So pick up those guys this week and enjoy the Streamagami. My fourth forward pick this week is Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators. And yes, again, I know, I'll keep it quick because I know we just streamed Pinto a couple weeks ago and he did not come through for us, and nothing's changed too much with what's going on with him. So I got no choice but to take Pinto here because he's still skating with DeBrincat and Batherson. And last game he did have 2 assists finally. So hopefully, maybe that second line in Ottawa is starting to gel. We sure hope so. On a week where Pinto plays 4 games with 3 light days, an incredible schedule. He's still just 9% rostered. I know he just burned us like this less than a month ago, but hopefully he can change that around. He's still young. He still has time to become our friend. It's Shane Pinto. My fifth regular forward streamer pick this week is Mikael Backlund of the Calgary Flames here. Obviously had to get a Flame in here, and if no one from their top 2 lines are available on your waiver wire in your league, then I would next go with Backlund here for no other reason than I just think he is the best bet to see the most minutes on their third line. But it also doesn't hurt that Backlund is hot right now. He has 6 points in his last 5 games. He's only rostered right now in just 9% of leagues, and as I mentioned, he's got a Streamagami this week, so pick up Mikael Backlund. Moving on to my defensive streamers, a little bit of a gamble here, but we got to do it. It's Calen Addison of the Minnesota Wild. And yes, I am well aware that Addison was just a healthy scratch as recently as Friday, but good thing I did this show on Sunday because Saturday, everything was back to normal for Addison, assuming his role on the top power play despite playing for just 14 minutes. So yeah, because of those minutes and because he's getting healthy scratched, who knows what Calen Addison we're going to get this week. But on a week where he has a Streamagami playing 4 times on all light days, he's only rostered right now in just 12% of leagues. So take a chance on Calen Addison with us this week. My second defensive streamer pick is Brady Skjei of the Carolina Hurricanes, and Skjei is very hot right now with 3 points in his last 3 games. He's probably due for another long pointless streak now, but hopefully he can keep up his peripherals at the very least for us this week. A little bit of, some yin and some yang with my defensive streamers this week. Skjei doesn't have a good schedule, but, defensemen are easier to slot into those busy day lineups, and the Hurricanes do play 4 times this week, and he's only 18% rostered. So if you can fit him in, I would go with Brady Skjei if you want maybe a little bit more of a sure thing than someone like Calen Addison. Up next, we've got my busy week streamer, and that's Jack Quinn of the Buffalo Sabres. And Jack Quinn could not be any hotter right now. Here's a fun fact you can tell at parties. Did you know that Jack Quinn has 16 points in his last 19 games? It's true. It's darn true. He's clearly benefiting from teams loading up to try to do something, anything to slow down the rage and Tajan. So he should continue to see favorable matchups. Terrible schedule for the Sabres, though, only playing 3 times on all the busy days. But if you can find a roster spot for him on those busy days, then I think you have to pick this guy up. He's only rostered right now in just 22% of leagues, but I think that's going to continue to go up as the season goes on. So if you can, pick up Jack Quinn, the Buffalo Sabre Quinn, that is. My shallow league streamer of the week is Andrew Mangiapane of the Calgary Flames. Easy choice here. Mangiapane is a friend of the show, but more importantly, he's on that second line in Calgary next to our streamer from last week, Dylan Dubé, and also Nazem Kadri as well. So very simple choice here this week for Mangiapane, who might not be available in those deeper cupful leagues, but at 34% rostered, he still might be hanging around in those shallower leagues. And if he is, then pick up Andrew Mangiapane as our shallow league streamer of the week. My goalie streamer of the week is Akira Schmid of the New Jersey Devils. The rookie has been excellent so far this season in his limited action, and pretty simple rationale here. New Jersey has a back-to-back on Monday and Tuesday, and I am just hoping that Blackwood doesn't come back from his injury before then. I know he won't for Monday for sure. Tuesday still up in the air, but I'm betting it's Akira Schmid, who is only rostered right now in 17% of leagues. So if you need a goalie stream early in the week, then pick up our goalie streamer of the week, Akira Schmid. And up next, I got some streamers that are truly ludicrous for you this week. Not as ludicrous as last week, granted, but either way, let's get it.
Prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Fasten all seatbelts. Seal all entrances and exits. Close all shops in the mall. Cancel the three-ring circus. Secure all animals in the zoo.
Give me that, you petty excuse for an officer.
Now hear this. Ludicrous speed. Sir, had you better buckle up?
Now buckle this.
Ludicrous speed. Go!
My top ludicrous streamer pick this week is Jordan Greenway of the Minnesota Wild. He's only 2% rostered right now, and for good reason, I would say, as Greenway has just 1 point in his last 7 games. But hey, Lars Eller only had 1 point in his last 8 games before this past week, so who knows, you know? I mainly want Greenway here this week, well, because of his streamagami, of course, and he shoots a decent bit, but I'm mainly banking on that Greenway has a high DUE right now, so hopefully he gets his name on the score sheet a couple times this week as well. So I say he's only 2% rostered right now, I think, as I mentioned, but pick up Jordan Greenway this week. And my second ludicrous streamer and final pick this week is Mike Hoffman of the Montreal Canadiens. Bookend picks here this week for the Habs. Who saw that coming, eh? Doc with the upset pick, first overall this week. And here we've got Hoffman to close us at. Another pick here I can make putting this week's show out on Sunday is that I got to see Hoffman's first game back from injury on Saturday. And guess what? He scored a goal. He had 3 shots, pretty good minutes, and found himself on the top power play in Montreal as well. Just great stuff all around for Mike Hoffman. And during a week when Montreal has a great schedule, playing 4 times with 2 light days, obviously, as we mentioned, has that Monday and Wednesday light day start to the week. So whether you want to roster Hoffman just for that early start of the week, or if you're able to fit him in all week long, he's probably still available in your league either way at just 2% rostered right now. So I say pick up Mike Hoffman this week. So there we have it. To recap, our streamers for the week starting on Monday, December 12th, 2022 are the following. Forward streamers, Kirby Dach, Sam Steele, Marcus Foligno, Shane Pinto, and Mikhail Backlund. Defensive streamers, Kalen Addison and Brady Shea. Our busy week streamer is Jack Quinn, the one that plays for the Sabres, that is. Our shallow league streamer is Andrew Mangiapane. Our goalie streamer this week is Akira Schmid for that Monday-Tuesday back-to-back. And our ludicrous streamers this week are Jordan Greenway and Mike Hoffman. Good luck to everyone this week. Feel free to hit me up on the Keeping Karlsson Patreon Discord server. Check out the Stream Scheme channel over there, or you can find me on Twitter at NHL Stream Scheme, and make sure to follow Ben and Lewis at Short Shifts KK, and obviously follow at Keeping Karlsson and tune into their Megapod every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you everyone for listening, and don't forget what the legendary Moose Vasco once said: the future belongs to those who believe in their stream. See?